Yeah, well, obviously in 2025, attention spans are shot, and I consider us no exception to that rule, obviously. And Netflix knows just how to game the system to keep people watching without actually watching their content. And that's why the quality of their original movies and series has plummeted so badly, because they don't need to make anything that's actually good. As long as you have turned on that movie or TV show and you keep paying monthly, and you're, doom scrolling on your phone and whatever you're doing in the background, they still profit. So it was recently confirmed by anonymous screenwriters who have worked for Netflix that they're expressly told to write their content in a way that dumbs it down for the viewers. Because
they're not looking at the screen.
Yeah, assuming that they're not actually going to be paying attention to any of the content. So this was in a piece in N+1 Mag. They wrote, with Netflix, audiences don't pay for individual films. They pay a subscription to watch everything, which enabled a strange phenomenon to take root. Netflix's movies don't have to abide by any of the norms established over the history of cinema. They don't have to be profitable. They don't have to be pretty, sexy, intelligent, funny, well-made, or anything else that pulls audiences into theaters, because they watch from their homes, on couches, in their beds, on public transportation, or on the toilet. Often they aren't even watching. Audiences at home are often barely paying attention. Several screenwriters who worked for Netflix told me a common note from company executives is have this character announce what they're doing so that viewers who have this program on in the background can follow along.
What's weird about this is, like, I don't even feel that could help. So maybe it's just for me because, like, my hearing is really bad. But if my attention is split between the two, and this is what happens, like, I talk a lot about, like, I rewatch a lot of stuff. I don't watch a lot of new stuff because watching new stuff is an investment and you have to really, really be interested in it to do so. But even then, like, if I'm rewatching something and I'm looking at my phone, I'll miss dialogue all the time. Important stuff that matters. Well, so I don't even know if it's basically just like talk to text describing what's going on the scene. I don't even know how much that would actually help. It's not going to stick in your brain.
It won't help because you can't understand what the characters are saying anyway these days. Like,
Is that why you have the subtitles?
A majority of Gen Z uses subtitles, and they always say, "What's wrong with Gen Z?" I'm like, "It's not Gen Z. It's modern movie and TVs. You can't understand." They mumble.
Yeah.
Like, what did he just say? You don't know.
That has been an issue, but I wouldn't expect it to be an issue in, like, a Lindsay Lohan rom-com. Yeah. You know, like, that's the difference.
Don't think that this is indicative of Netflix failing. I mention this all the time. Go look at Samba TV, which is basically streaming's version of the Nielsen charts now. They collect a lot of data as far as streaming habits. Every week they release a top 10 shows of what's getting streamed most. 7 out of 10 of them are always Netflix. Minimum 7. Minimum 6 out of 10. Mostly 7 or 8 out of 10. There's usually something from Paramount Plus, like some Taylor Sheridan show, or HBO Max when The Penguin was there. Reacher did very, very well, which, by the way, Reacher season 3 is coming out in February. But 6 to 7 out of 10 of them are almost always Netflix
I still think it's just because Netflix had a jump on all these other companies.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
people are familiar with it. It's comfortable to them, you know.
The first time that they ever had like a net loss in subscriptions was 2022, and I think they recovered after that.
They did
because they changed the way that they were going to write their content.
I think it's because they upped their prices, and so a lot of people jumped. Or no, it was the password sharing. Wasn't that what caused them?
No, that doesn't cause a drop in subscribers because that wouldn't show up that way.
Well, because I'm wondering.
I mean, that was streaming bubble bursting slightly after the 2020 ad spends or the money spends that they were spending on growth in content, and a lot of people during COVID were all subscribing to streaming services, and then when COVID was done and they could actually go outside again, a lot of them eased up and went off. We did an article. Oh, did we even cover it? Like, streaming services are down 23% like across the board right now. Yeah, like all of them are down.
I wonder, like, because this has definitely happened to me where I'm like, the grass is greener. I stop my Netflix subscription and get, like, I don't know, Paramount subscription. And then I'm like, oh, like this sucks. Like if the UI is harder to use. There's not as many shows. Not that I care about them.
Getting
but
Paramount, you have to do it for like a specific thing.
Pick your streaming platform though. I think Netflix is really good. It works on almost every device that you have it on. Like it doesn't really lag. And they've got a ton, whether you care about the shows and movies
Prime
or
is
not.
the best there is right now.
You think?
Out of all of them, as far as pure selection,
I can't stand their UI.
And no, I'm not
confusing.
talking about how it actually works. I'm saying, but as far as selection goes, right now Amazon Prime is leaps and bounds above them. I think Hulu has the best UI.
Okay. I can see
Netflix
that.
as well.
Netflix
but
is good.
I don't have Netflix
the worst
right
thing that Netflix ever did, and thankfully I think this is a setting you can turn off, but when you're just scrolling
The
through
previews?
the way that they just start playing it just auto plays against your
No,
will.
you know why I like it? It reminds me of the old DVD days when you finish you fall asleep during the movie and then the menu music just loops.
That fills me with existential horror.
What's worse is like it becomes a learned behavior where like when I'm in between something, like without even realizing I'm doing it, I mute the TV.
Interesting.
Like so that when it's playing some preview from a show, I don't have to
so distracting.
Listen to it.
My weird habit is I started turning my TV on the lowest brightness possible.
Are you watching it in a dark room most of the time?
Usually at night is when I watch TV, yeah.
They also
but it's never been a thing
mentioned,
for me before.
One tag among Netflix's 36,000 micro-genres is called casual viewing. This category describes much of their film catalog, movies that go down best when you're not paying attention, or as The Hollywood Reporter recently described Atlas, a 2024 sci-fi film starring J-Lo, another Netflix movie made to half watch while you're doing laundry.
No,
they call it Tide Pod Cinema.
That's amazing. Like somebody said when I posted about this article on Twitter, somebody goes, they're trying to take your shtick, which is like the whole reason PCC exists is so that you can put it on in the background.
Right.
That's what I want. I want for you to join us every day while you're doing errands, while you're doing laundry, while you're working.
Yeah,
but Netflix should be striving for higher, to be fair.
That makes sense for podcasts, obviously, because it's mostly audio.
Well, look at cooking
anyway.
shows. Like, cooking shows have always been this way, where they are narrating what they're doing. They're talking about what ingredients they're throwing in the pan and how they're going to cook it, and you hear the reaction from the judges. You don't really need to be watching the screen.
The other thing about Amazon that's so annoying, like they're diabolical now. So like at any point in time when you're scrolling the UI and you click on a show, it's like season 3 that you've clicked on rather than season 1. It doesn't just list the show in its entirety. You could see the show like it's in 2 categories, right? It's in critically acclaimed cinema, and then it's down here in like the action movies. Like it's in both of those categories. And like the action, or it's like the action TV and critically acclaimed TV. And in the critically acclaimed TV will be the season 1 of the show. And if you see it in action TV, it's like season 3 of the show, not realizing that you could click it, start watching it, be 10 minutes in and realize you didn't start at the beginning of the show. You started in the middle of the 3rd season. And so with other shows, what I found is like there are whole seasons where it's like 8 to 10 episodes long. One episode you had to pay for. Because of licensing
that's diabolical.
Like that's evil, dude. Like it's like so it was some like it was called like Ties That Bind. They did 10 episodes of it total. It was like on Up. It was like the Christian Family Network, and I watched it years ago. And I'm like, oh holy crap, how did that end up on here? I love that show. Kelly Williams is awesome. I get to episode 5, I'm like, you want me to pay for just episode 5? Are you insane?
This is why I still say the most convenient option would be a mega corporation just buys out all of them and they're all in one place. Let's just have a monopoly on this. I would love that.
And look, to be fair, audiences don't seem to be demanding more outside of the fact that a lot of these shows are failing, but that could just be pure there's just too much, right?
Okay, when people didn't have streaming services and the commercials came on network television, that's when you do other stuff. Yeah. Then you come back and you start again when it comes back on.
They do the, like, there's like skits that are like Gen Z will never understand, and it's like the commercial starts, the guy runs into the kitchen, puts the popcorn in the microwave, goes to the bathroom, does something else, grabs it, and then jumps back onto the couch and stuff like that. Right now, when it comes to streaming services, there's just, what it is like when there was network television or even just cable, right? you had 4 stations, maybe 5, and like a couple of cable stations, and everybody kind of coalesced around a couple of really big shows, whether it's Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, and they were water cooler talk for people to talk about the next day at work. Now, like, what am I supposed to talk about? Like, I saw somebody the other day was like, I just started the 3 Body Problem. Like, I vaguely remember that it's being popular for like 30 days 2 months ago. There's no cultural, there's nobody's coalescing around these shows. There's like a couple of shows every year that get really, really big. That's the same as there was before. It's just that now there's just 10 times the output.
I felt like when HBO Max put out Euphoria, it had that level of popularity, but that's
the
very
closest
rare.
thing I can think of is like Stranger Things had that for
Stranger
a
Things,
period of time.
But then you run into like, so let's say these streaming platforms are not doing this half-assed effort to make a show, and you do come up with something like Stranger Things, and then you're waiting 3 years.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. You're going to make 10 episodes that are all an hour and a half long and then go on a hiatus for half a decade and expect me to still care. Fuck off.
No.
That's so annoying.
Like Bella Ramsey is now 21 playing Ellie. Like she's now actually old enough to play
now they have to do the time jump.
Well, so it's funny too. Somebody says they charge you double now if you want ad for. That is true. Like they put ads even when you pay for no ads. Like Paramount Plus, they just put ads for their own shit at the beginning and end of every episode, and it's like it's not like somebody's like it's not an ad, it's a promotion. I'm like, fuck you.
This is not
like I just stopped. I'm like, fuck you.
I'm not watching the show that I just clicked. Yeah, this is something else.
And the reason they're doing this is because they want to push everyone to the ad tier. They want you to pay less for the streaming service so they can sell ads. The person who's laughing the most in all of this is like Warren Buffett, who sold his shares in Fox Corp when Disney bought it and bought Tubi. And now it's just like cha-ching because Tubi does so well because they sell so many ads.
I still have never. You always talk up Tubi.
Tubi,
To this day, I've never used it.
Fubo and Movie.
Did you
Disney's
see that the other
Fubo.
day? It became the meme that like it said Hulu is teaming with Fubo.
Like,
I'm like
what
it's
the heck
literally
is
just-
Fubo?
Tubu.
I can't do this
It's
anymore.
on Fubo with ads.
It's on Fuba.
There's just too much and none of the names make any sense.
It's like the TGL.
Like, so you're telling me I have to have Fubo, Freevee, Tubi,
Like there's just
Roku.
too many and they all have stupid names. And you know what? Maybe Netflix is right about us. Maybe we're dumb.
It's well.
We don't know what we want.
At the
Not we're
very
dumb.
least-
We just don't know what we want.
At the very least,
That's what
the
it is.
fact that they have 7 of the 10 top spots consistently means that they're doing something right. But I thought the worst part of this was that it's about selling ads. Did you read that part down here where it says Netflix is also encouraging viewers to ditch the living room TV and only watch content on their mobile devices.
Ew.
Mobile devices offer more personalized advertising experiences, whereas a living room TV experience is communal. So they want to be able to sell you targeted ads on your phone.
Oh boy. How exciting.
It's like when people got mad, like if you use Roku TV or Tubi and you pause the show, Amazon does this too. You pause the show, it actually pauses and shows an ad on screen. And Amazon's is diabolical because you can click and it takes you right to Amazon Prime where you can freaking buy it. But the point is, like, that's actually the least invasive type of advertising because I'm guaranteed to not be looking at the screen when it's paused.
Well, now YouTube is going to be doing the same exact thing.
It's it's just all ads.
Well,
it's everything.
Have you guys flown on American Airlines anytime recently?
I don't think so. Not recently.
So they completely ditched their screens on their plane, and now they offer free Wi-Fi with limited selections that you can. You get free Wi-Fi
I just saw
to
something
their
in the-
streaming platform, and they have shows and movies.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but that's like the only
But
time.
I would never, in an ordinary circumstance, watch a
something on the
TV
phone.
show on
Yep,
my
that's what I was about
phone.
to
I would
say.
never do
like
that.
they tell you not to do that in major cities because you become a target for theft because your eyes are glued to the screen.
Oh, well, no, but I wouldn't
Like,
even
it's
do
not a
that
good
at
idea.
home, though.
I
Like, I
know.
would never even do that at home.
But even like the places where you would do it, like on the go, it's not a good idea.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.